This is Cognition, Episode 5, Star Trek and Socialism. I want to start by saying that Star Trek is not socialism. Maybe what Star Trek is something we have not labeled or defined yet. However, I want to use Star Trek to illustrate just how ignorant some people are being in regards to the term socialism and why exactly it doesn't work, okay? Socialism is defined as a political and economic theory of social organization which advocates that the means of production, distribution, and exchange should be owned or regulated by the community as a whole. Now, communism is similar, except the means to achieve it. Communism is a political theory derived by Karl Marx, advocating class war and leading to a society in which all property is publicly owned and each person works and is paid according to their abilities and needs. I Googled these terms, but they are the same definitions I learned in basic political science in college. I want to point out that our current president has tried to create a class warfare between rural and cities, and it sounds a lot like Marxism. And when he starts saying that all Americans, true Americans, are rural Americans, it's like Stalin saying the people are Russian people are the Russian people and the bourgeoisie is evil, i.e. the educated city people are the problem. And that's not the problem at all. Now, there's a huge problem with both of these concepts. People are not all the same. We do not live in a society where everyone has the same needs or wants, special diets, allergies, handicaps, tastes. I have to have food that is sugar-free, gluten-free, nightshade-free, vegan, organic, and soy-free. And any processed food has to be processed in a way to ensure it is yeast-free. Yeah, I'm kind of special. I have to be treated with a special way. I have to live a special way. It has taken me years to control my diet, which is why I'm not leaving California. Anyways, in a society where everyone has the same things, you end up in a government that goes from utopian to dictatorship. It means a loss of individual identity. This idea of no property ownership means that if you have a car, it belongs to anyone who wants to drive it. Or your house can be occupied by anyone who wants to sleep in your bed, and you have to share. It is a system that is impossible under the current technology. Now, why do I say this? Because economy, the concept was created by agriculture. When man first became able to grow or create food, then man had a commodity to trade and sell. If you are a farmer and you grow, are you truly willing to give away your food to everyone else and get nothing back? Think about that. In Star Trek, there is no money. There is no traditional economy. Star Trek officers never talk about getting paid. Why? Because food can be made without work. Basic needs can be met without effort. So people choose occupations based on natural skills and also a need to participate in the social order. Maybe it is kind of like communism, but at the same time, no one's forced to do anything, and everyone can be individuals. Never is it said that people are forced to join Starfleet. People have the freedom to choose their own path. No one is told, well, we've tested you and you have these skill sets, therefore you're required to be a scientist. You're required to be a doctor. Will Crusher made a choice for himself that he had these skills and wanted to use them. Example, okay, from Star Trek. Yet property is not owned by everyone. People still have possessions in Star Trek. They hold dear, books, instruments, pictures, clothes. People have a space that is their own. Socialism, and people also have the uniforms they wear when they're working, but they also have the clothes they wear when they're not working. Socialism was a concept created by men who ended up causing war and murder. Stalin, Russia, grew into a corrupt government. The only way for community to share property is for government to take over property. But when that happens, and you get power concentrated in government, it becomes a dictatorship or fascist. To me, there's not communist on one end and totalitarianism on the other, which is what I originally taught in political science. A lot of fights with my political science teacher, by the way. I got a B. What you have is democracy and republican government on one end, and fascism and totalitarianism on the other. Socialism and communism are figments of man's illusion. There is no true socialist system on the planet, and communism true communism only exists on paper. No one's actually ever achieved socialistic or communism. It always ends up switching to something else. They claim to be communists, but they're really a dictatorship. They're really a tyrannical system. There is no this free society where everyone's needs and wants are being met. So this constant fear of socialism and communism is a witch hunt for an impossibility. The people who want to undermine democracy and its values are people who feel isolated and abused by the system. But as the democratic system is fixed to eliminate bias, sexual race, it works better than a pretentious dream that has always led to violence and corruption. Also, this idea that providing health care is somehow evil is making sure that people are taking care of evil. If we have a war and the government provides doctors to care for the soldiers and care for the people who are hurt by that war, is that evil? I was watching a commercial today for medicine, and it was the kind doctors need to prescribe, and I thought, should this be illegal? And this is a separate concept of this, okay? Shouldn't doctors decide if medicine is good for a patient? I think that pharma companies should be allowed to push their products on to consumers or doctors. What does this have to do with socialism? Shouldn't the people get to decide what they want to take in their bodies and not companies? I mean, it is a socialist concept right there, but what are we saying here? I mean, we want medical care, we want health care, but then we want companies to control it. Isn't that kind of, I don't know, it's just, it doesn't make sense in all this. All the terms we throw around politically don't make sense with reality. I'm also holistic, and I try to solve my own medical problems with natural remedies. If I were a diabetic, my first action would be to change my lifestyle and diet and not reach for a pill. I'm not telling you to not see your doctor. I'm telling you to talk to your doctor and not assume a commercial for a drug is the answer. Also, do your own research and listen to your body. Social change refers to significant alteration over time in behavior patterns and cultural values and norms. Wanting to change culture or social behavior to improve society is not socialism. Wanting to improve our democratic system so everyone has the right to vote, that is not socialism. Our current POTUS and the GOP trying to insinuate that by mailing, to everyone getting a right to have a mail-in ballot, everyone getting a right to be counted in the vote, that is not socialist. That is democracy at its best. I want the world to be better and the planet to get healthy. That does not make me a socialist. Being a giver is not a socialism. There is an example of socialized medicine in America, kind of, and it's veteran hospitals. If you think that an organized organization run by the government is being run by the people, these facilities are completely run by the government. The doctors at Veterans Affairs facilities are all government employees. I got this concept in the LA Times article written by George Skelton in 2017. The healthcare system set up by Obama and the plans being considered to generate better healthcare for all. None of them involve the doctors and hospitals actually being run by the government. It's a decision you get to make. Do you want this or that? The general populace also doesn't have control over who gets to work to be a doctor and who does not. If I want to be a doctor, you can go be a doctor. If you don't want to be a doctor, you don't have to be a doctor. The means of medical, in a socialistic society, in a true communist society, someone would test you and think, oh, you're good at medicine, you need to be a doctor. I mean, what if I don't want to be a doctor? I don't want to be a doctor. I'll play one on television, but I really don't want to be a doctor. Back to the vet hospitals, since they are technically like socialist medicine, should the government stop providing care to vets? I don't think so. For American security, it is best that our government controls who takes care of our vets. When I hear people talk about how they want to overthrow the U.S. democracy and create true equality, I hear anarchy. I also hear pain and anger and disappointment. I do not think that those people are sane or mentally healthy. I think they're scared by being abused and left out. There are people who would be better off if they had access to good education and better food. But I don't think that they would be better off if we didn't have police and we didn't have hospitals and we didn't have good roads and good schools. Trying to eradicate the cops. Well, some of the people I think are actually the people who want to be able to break into someone's house who's rich and has stuff and take it away from them because they feel like they deserve those things. And you don't. You really don't. You don't have the right to steal. That is still a crime. It's always been a crime. There are people who would be better off if they had access to good education and better food, I think I said, but too many Americans are being told to eat food that is not good for them because people want to make money and no sugar sells, even though sugar is not a necessity. The more sugar we eat, the more unhealthy we are. We need to allow for those in pain to heal. We need to improve the democratic system to allow those who have been left out a platform to be heard. And we need to clean up the internet from malicious manipulation by marketing and by politics and even by religion. I should feel safe to be myself. I'm a vegan. People should not be telling me I can't be a vegan anymore. Making up crap that isn't necessarily true in order to stop me from being a vegan. I don't want to be gaslit by people who either cannot read my profile or do not care to take time to read it. It is crazy to me that my profile, for example, says that I'm an actor, but then I get contacted by random men, and they're like, wait, you're an actor? My profile says I'm an actor. We need to create technology that protects democracy and be careful it's not used to manipulate us into fascism and tyranny. And above all else, we need to respect the fact that no one is alike. Individuals are individuals. And we each have the right to be our own person. We don't have the right to kill other people, to hurt other people. The basic ethical concepts, the moral concepts, concepts that extend beyond religion, a belief in a God. The very basic ideas that I should be able to be safe in my own home. I should be able to identify with people who are like me and not be forced to identify with people who are not like me. And this is making me so angry. I'm a Democrat. I'm a liberal. I believe in science. I'm not interested in hanging out with people who do not believe in those things. I'm not interested in being told I need to go to a therapist because I believe in climate change or because I won't go to church on Sunday. I mean, seriously, we have become Gilead in America because I've had those things happen to me. And it isn't right. It isn't. Do we have a democracy in this country? Do we have freedom in this country? Then respect the fact that I'm a secular Buddhist and will not go to church. Respect the fact that I'm not going to say Merry Christmas to you. I may say Happy Holidays. Respect the fact that I'm not going to say Happy Easter to you. I'm going to say peace to you. Respect the fact that I'm going to try to solve my own medical problems with holistic care instead of rushing to a doctor to take some medicine that farmer wants to shove down, that some commercial online tells me I need to take. Or for that matter, that I'm going to go out of my way to find a medicine that isn't prescribed by a doctor, that's a test that's available that may help me with my autoimmune disease. I am down medication for my autoimmune disease. It is not medication prescribed by a doctor. I made the decision to go on it myself, and it's helped me. Don't continue to assume that you're not a socialist or a communist or a traitor to America if you don't respect the Constitution, what it says, and what it means. Don't you dare tell me that because you wear a uniform for the U.S. government, that you are a true patriot. If you do not respect my right as a civilian to say no to you being in my personal space or in my life, do not respect that I'm going to respect you. Because to me, respect is not interfering in my life and letting me be who I am. An artist, creative type, and a person who would be worth more if she was allowed to do what I'm intended to do, what I'm made to do. I'm not meant to be a housewife. I am not meant to be a teacher. If I were a mother, I would teach my child to respect the Constitution as it was meant to be respected, and I wouldn't take my kid to church. Understood? And you have no right to make me be the kind of woman who would make my kid go to church. You can do whatever you want with your kids. But I should have been allowed to have love in my life, the life that I wanted, and the career goals that I dreamed of. Not have them cut off because people presume that because I'm not born in California or don't look like an actor. Who I am in here, my very core, my very personality, and INFP. Two personalities under Myers-Briggs that are actors. INFP and ENFP, I believe, is the other, ENFJ. The other one's an E, not an I. I'm designed to think like an actor, to think like a creator, to think like an artist. I have always tested that way. Career testing when I was a kid. Number one career choice was always art. I can't draw, but I'm good at digital media, good at editing, good at storytelling, good at poetry, at least I was. Until someone decided to attack me over and over again online, and to the point where I couldn't create anymore. Because what? You wanted to give me a lobotomy so my mind was dead inside? So all I would think about is being a nothing? Nothing in here at all. Nothing going on up here so that you can basically make me cook and clean and take care of you. I'm going to want to hurt you. I'm not going to want to love you. I have been tortured enough. I have been pushed and gaslit to the point where I am suicidal without acting. And that is the truth. Without my art, without the rights that I earned as a SAG-AFTRA actor, I really hate life. I do. You want me to be a responsible person? Then you need to give me a reason to want to be responsible. And you want me to give me a reason to get up in the morning. I had passion and drive for the entertainment industry. I don't have passion and drive to be someone's housewife or someone's mother or to own a house somewhere in a place where I'm going to feel alone and miserable. Doesn't matter if some guy in another state wants me. I don't want him. I don't want that life. You need to accept that because you will kill me before you make me the person you want me to be.